Alright, so here's some stuff about Adventures League. So I'll kind of talk a little bit about Adventures League first. It's basically an organized play to where you can take this character that is associated with your DCI number, and you can take this and you can play in other D&D Adventures League games, whether it be online using the Fantasy Ground forums or the Adventures League online website. If you want to go to your local game store, you can just write down all of your stats on a character sheet, fill out a log with all of your sessions, take your character, go to your local game store. You can go to Gen Con, like what's going on today. Gen Con started. You can go and play at Gen Con if you want. So Adventures League is pretty cool. And we're going to be starting at the very, very, very beginning with the DDEX1 series, which is has to do with Tyranny of Dragons. So we'll do quite a few of those adventures, and then we'll move on to Elemental Evil, and then after Elemental Evil, we'll go on to the Abyss, and then after the Abyss, we'll go on to Curse of Strahd, and then on to the Giants. So we've got quite a bit of content to go. This is our first session. So there are no more certificates for magic items. Basically, at the end of every session, what we'll do is if you open up your character sheet, on the right-hand side where all the tabs are, go to the log. It's the sixth tab down. And when you click on the log tab, there is a bottom right-hand corner, there is an edit list. You can click on that red button, and then up above in the adventure tab, you'll see a green button appear, and you can hit that, and it will basically give you a form to fill out. Or if you don't want to hit the red button, you can just right-click on the sheet and just hit, create item under adventures. And then when you click on the little red dragon, it has the form where you'll put in session number, and this is session number 1. You'll put the date in, the GM name and number, which I'll give that to you at the end. Everybody has 0 XP, 0 gold, 0 downtime. And every game you'll get rewards. Sometimes. If you die, then you're obviously not going to get any rewards. So, but there are ways to, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So every adventure you'll get X amount of experience points. You'll get X amount of money. You may get magic items. Now on magic items, you have to do a voting process. And say for instance, if a rogue pickpockets someone and finds a healing potion, well, in your normal standard setting, the rogue would keep it, but in Adventures League, that's not allowed. You have to basically give it to everything is split amongst the party. So you would vote on who gets the healing potion, even though the rogue took all the chances in the world. It doesn't matter. That's just how it works in Adventure League. Anytime any money is pickpocketed, it's split evenly. All quest rewards, everything is split evenly. It's just the way that they promote this. Now, you cannot sell magic items, so if there is a Speak with Animals scroll that nobody will probably ever use, which I hope you would use that to encourage roleplay, which I think would be pretty cool, you can't go to the Adventurer's Vault or Mordenkainen's Emporium and sell that. You have to hold on to it. You can play any class that you want to, any archetype that you want to play. You can play any race in the game, excluding the Aarakocra. I don't know why you cannot play an Aarakocra, but those are the rules. So we'll abide by those. I think I've pretty much touched on everything. You'll also, beside XP and gold, you'll also get downtime days. Now, in the player's handbook, there is a nice little section, I believe it's in the equipment section, on downtime days. So, if you want to take some of your money and kind of think of something good to, at the beginning of every session, I'll say, did anybody do anything during their downtime days? and maybe we'll say maybe Omi wanted to live the high life, maybe as a rich noble for a couple of days, and he spent 10 gold a day. So you would deduct that from your sheet, and kind of give everybody the gist on what you did for a couple of days, living the high life as a noble, living in the noble's quarters, yada 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 yada. If you don't want to participate in downtime, you don't have to. It doesn't cost you anything to participate. Well, if you don't want to participate, it doesn't cost you anything. Maybe you want to do some crafting. You can do crafting too. So if you want to craft that, I think the mechanics are you have to have the materials, and I believe 5 gold a day. So if you craft for 5 days of downtime, you can basically craft half of a healing potion if you are an alchemist and you have the apothecary tools and stuff like that. So, over 2 sessions, you'll be able to craft a potion, which is pretty cool. You cannot buy magic items in Adventures League. You can't walk right into Mordenkainen's Emporium or the Adventures Vault. Everything is found. So the only thing that you can buy magic item wise are healing potions, and they are 50 gold apiece. So that'll probably be the huge portion of where your gold will go. That, or if you want to live the high life in downtime and then role play that out at the beginning of the session. So there's also special renown that you can get depending on what faction you belong to, one of the 5 major factions. The Zentrum, the Emerald Enclave, the Harpers, the Lord's Alliance, or the Order of the Gauntlet. I think those are the 5. So I think that's actually the first time I ever nailed all 5 in a row, which is pretty impressive for me. So, but yeah, you choose. You don't have to be in one of the organizations, but once you you get X amount of renown points, then you start getting some bonuses and stuff, and that's in the player's guide for DDEX1, and you can get that for free. And I'll also put that in Fantasy Grounds. So, and if you get any kind of magic item, you'll have to track it on the log. Players, you can't trade or anything like that. So everything has to be voted on at the end of the session. So, all right. So do you guys have any questions about Adventures League? There are several restrictions, but if you guys have any questions, ask now.
Nowadays, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah. All right. So we will go ahead and start then. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So where we're starting is the city of Flan. And the city of Flan is right here. I'm going to share this map to everyone. Now the city of Flan, it is a very small little seafaring town on the Moon Sea. And where the Moon Sea is, it's definitely not in the Sword Coast, which is awesome, because everything that's been put out for this entire edition has basically been the Sword Coast, which is kind of refreshing to start in to the east of the Sword Coast. So this is the city of Flan on the Moon Sea, and the city of Flan has been destroyed many times. There's about 18,000 people that are living in Flan, and there's probably a couple thousand people that are living around Flan in the farmsteads, as you can see. Now there is a very large forest to the north called the Quivering Forest. And the Quivering Forest, since Flan was founded in 367 DR, which is about 1100 years ago, the city of Flan has been razed many times because of the creatures of the Quivering Forest, whether it be the elves, the ogres, the orcs, or the other creatures of the Fae, they will eventually, once in a while, come and destroy the city of Phlan. So Flan, is basically been resurrected a bunch of times. Now, how Flan is right now is it's in a very bad state right now. It's basically martial law, a lot of corruption. There is basically the old leader of Flan. He has mysteriously been killed by a construction accident, and his name was Lord Protector Aaronrard Daron, and he was basically the grandson of one of the heroes of Flan that has raised Flan several times before. So he mysteriously just died. So it's probably, and there's word of mouth going around Flan that it's probably the houses of Flan, the nobles, because the Lord Protector Enenrar, he wasn't a very stern man. He wasn't a good leader. He was very, very passive, and the city of Flan doesn't need that. They need someone stern. So there is one of his knight commanders named Ector Brahms. He has actually been appointed to be the acting Lord Regent of Flan. And he is basically the knight commander of the Black Fist. And the Black Fist, they are basically the military order that is in charge of protecting Flan and keeping order within Flan. But as of late, with all of the corruption, all of the chaos that is ensuing in Flan, the numbers of the Black Fist have really fallen down to where they're almost non-existent, and that's why martial law has been declared. Now, I don't know where your characters are from. This is Adventures League. You guys can be from anywhere that you want to in the Forgotten Realms, or anywhere on another world. Maybe you found the portal and came to this land of Faerun. So you guys are in a tavern. You guys are in a tavern called Madame Friona's Tea Kettle. And I don't know how long you've been in Flan. Maybe you've been in Flan for a couple of days. Maybe you've been in Flan for a couple of weeks, maybe. Maybe all of your characters know one another. Maybe you're all sitting around this table right now. But I'm going to share another map for you right now of the actual tea kettle, and I think you'll like the map. So here's the tea kettle. Okay, the shaded out parts are areas of the map that you just simply do not know what's inside. But you've seen Madame Friona, and you know that she has 5 daughters. They're halflings, by the way. And you see them coming in and out of these doors, carrying food. So it's probably a kitchen and some type of storeroom where, drinks are stored and whatnot. So there you go. You guys are in Madame Friona's tea kettle. I'm going to put everybody's token on the map. Also, there is a combat tracker. Combat tracker is the cross swords on the right-hand side. And you guys, let's see. Is everybody, can you guys hear me? Unbelievable. Fucking Bright House, man. I'm going to have to take this router and slam it through their window or something to get their attention. So do you guys hear me now?
No.
Yeah, I can hear you now, David.
Yep, I can hear you.
No.
Sorry about that. Where did I stop broadcasting? Sorry about my shit internet service that I have. It's called Bright House. I don't think they care either. Sort of like the post office.
You were just talking about putting our tokens on the map.
Okay, cool.
And I think the stream is down also.
Yeah, well, I'm recording it. They can watch it later if they want. So, I am broadcasting though, by the way. They just have to refresh the browser, probably. Oh my god. Alright, if I disconnect again, I will not stream it and we'll just play offline and I'll upload it later. So,
At least it's happening now in the beginning, not during combat.
it shouldn't be happening at all, Miss Scarlet.
I know it
I am
shouldn't.
paying a premium price at $150 a month for a service that is subpar. I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that, actually. Sorry about that, guys. My internet stinks. So if you work for Bright House, contact me on the contact list, and I'll tell you what I think of Bright House. Because I'm paying $150 for internet, and the service absolutely sucks. Alright, so I will go ahead and add all of your tokens to the combat tracker, and you can open up the combat tracker, top right hand corner, the crossed swords. So I've got everybody added. Caliph, Omi, B, and Pitter. Is it Pitter or Piter?
Hiter.
Piter, okay, very good. So now, what I'll do is I will add all of you to the map. And as everyone comes into Madame Friona's tea kettle, one of the servers, which is one of her daughters, because you guys have been to Madame Friona's tea kettle for, on numerous occasions now, since you've been, staying here in Flan, and one of Madame Friona's daughters comes up to you, and her name is Reese, and this is one of Madame Friona's 5 daughters, and she's a little younger. She's just a little shy from adulthood, and she shows you this table here, and it's empty. So you're more than welcome to sit down at the table. Well, no problem. Just jump in when you can. All right. So there you go. And then I'll sit B down at the table as well. And she asks you what everybody wants to drink. And the Moon Sea Pale Ale is the special of the day. And seeing that you guys have been staying here, also at the tea kettle, which is they have several public rooms up top. Your first drink of the day is also free. So everybody sits down here in the tavern. So what are you guys talking about? You guys want to introduce yourselves, seeing that you guys have known each other for a little bit now?
Can you reshare the map? Thank you.
Anyone? Anyone want
Okay.
to introduce your character?
Hi guys, I'm Dragonbait in chat. I'm playing Omi Barton, a half-elf rogue who originally grew up way to the west in Baldur's Gate. He's a carpenter by trade, trained by his human father, who took him to human lands since he wasn't getting along well in elven lands. His father entered a deep state of depression, and Omi eventually tried to take up the carpentry profession on his own to help take care of his father, but he wasn't making enough money at it to take care of his father's medical condition. So he started doing carpentry jobs for the nobility, and while he was doing that, he would case the homes and he would sell info to the local thieves guild. Well, eventually he got caught and was given safe haven in the thieves guild, but being sought after by the law, he had to eventually flee the city, and he's headed far to the east to Flan, where he's not known, in order to find work.
Very nice. Well, you also know that there is a thieves guild here that has kind of taken over Flan, and they're called the Welcomers Guild. And you've been able to tell with signs of thief cant around the Flan, whether it be marked on a post or whether it be a small symbol on the door of an establishment. So you can definitely tell that there is a presence of a thieves guild called the Welcomers here in Flan.
So I'll give a quick intro.
Sure.
My character's name is Piter Bartle, and
This
he
is Mythic
a
Mastermind.
cleric, human cleric of Ogma. He grew up in Burdusk, along the Sword Coast, and he is a scholar, has been a bit of a librarian and a researcher most of his life, and he has come to the area of the Moonsea to kind of study some of the mysteries around the area and see what he can learn, see what knowledge he can gather and bring back.
Very nice. Also, there is a new temple that is being corrected, seeing that you are one with deities and whatnot. There is a new temple that is dedicated to Lathander that has kind of been raised, and a person of pious name, Peony Lornsdown, pretty young devotee of Lathander, she has taken it upon herself to raise this temple that was destroyed in one of the past raids of the ogres and orcs. So she has been putting it together slowly but surely.
And Dave, also, while the young lass is here, Piter will look over and say, "Ma'am, may I have a glass of water, please?"
Sure. Well, you're able to have some of the Moonsea Pale Ale if you'd like to have a glass of that. But
Oh, no,
if you prefer water instead, I can get you that, good sir.
Please.
Oh, okay. And she just kind of, waddles off. She asks everyone else, "What are you drinking, ma'am? What are you drinking?"
B drops a gold on her plate just says, keep the ale coming.
Wow. Well, I most certainly will. Thank you. This is very generous, milady. What about you, sir? What would you like to have? She's looking at Omi.
I'd like coffee strong and a bran muffin, please.
Oh, well, Mother bakes the best muffins and cakes in all of Flan, so I'll make sure to get you one or two of those. Get you some twosies going on. She looks
I
over
look at around.
towards- Oh, go ahead.
I look at around at the weird looks I'm getting for ordering a bran muffin, and I say, "What? It's important to be regular."
She looks over to Caliph and asks, "And what are you drinking, sir?"
Give me the daily specialty, that
Oh, the
ale.
Moonsea Pale Ale, yes. It was made right here in our very own Flan. I will get you a mug of that. It's very nice. And Reese, like I said, she's one of the middle-aged daughters. She's just shy of adulthood, and she goes off and gets your drinks and brings them back eventually. But in the time being, Kalith and B, you guys can introduce yourselves as well.
Well, for those that don't know, I'm Miss Scarlet Knit in the Twitch chat. I'm playing B, a red-headed dwarf fighter with an incredibly meticulously cared-for beard. She was a soldier at one point.
Female dwarves
Definitely
do have
enjoyed
beards.
the front lines, but retired from that when she decided to have her own family. Unfortunately, that did not work out for her, and so she joined a faction and started going across country, helping out local proprietors with their hooligan problems.
This hooligan problem that your faction has kind of talked to you about, the Lord's Alliance, they've actually warned you of a cult that has been very active in the areas, not only in Flan, but in the entire, especially the Sword Coast. There's a lot going on down there with a lot of cities being small towns, small cities being sacked by these cults. They're called Cult of the Dragon, and it hasn't moved out, this far east yet. But as your faction knew that you were coming towards Flan, they wanted you to keep an eye out and report back of any activities of any kind of cult activity.
Okay.
Kalith?
For those that don't know, I'm Locher 2000 in chat, and I play Galat Amakir. I am a rogue that was operating a little bit on the dark side in Baldur's Gate, and to get to lay low for the authorities, I'm wandering around, and I'm now staying here in this city for a while just to get
Sort of clear your name or something?
so that they don't try to let them forget about me.
Alright. You also, along with Omi, you know that there is a thieves guild here that is kind of taking control of a lot of the town, and it's called the Welcomers Guild, and it is a shady organization, something that you would totally affiliate yourself with, being the murder hobo that you are. So you guys have been in Flan. I don't know how long you've been in Flan, but you've been staying at Madame Friona's Tea Kettle. It's a place where adventurers come and go. They find work. Contractors will come in seeking adventurers. There's a board that is downstairs that often posts jobs. There are none at the moment. It's a very small tavern. You stay in the public rooms up top, and you get access from the stairs going up on the side of the actual tavern itself. And it's a fairly well kept building. The smell of Madame Friona and her cooking is always delightful. Great baked products, as halflings love to bake. They have lots of good stews and pies. And Madame Friona, the stout little halfling that she is very thankful of your patronage. and you guys get basically get a free meal and a free drink every day as part of you staying